you say?
A new world order.
New world order.
A new world order.
The new world order.
A new world order.
A new world order.
The new world order.
New world order. That order and progress can only come when individuals surrender their rights to an all-powerful sovereign.
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order.
Yo, what is up? It's your boy Drew, checking out that Drew World Order live. I'm sick, man. You can probably hear it in my voice. I know there's this bug going around. Oh man, but I didn't want to miss this. I plan on streaming hopefully once a week this year. I'm out of the newborn phase. I can get back on my streams, and let's get into it, man. Tonight I want to get into like what's up with Donald Trump and all the Indian appointees, all the buddying up with India, and how he's combating the deep state with the Jeet state. Thanks to everyone that's here, man. No, 1 second here. Bear with me as, again, I'm starting to learn this software again, and just part of my getting my reps in right now. I'm just trying to get my reps in, get going on this stuff so I can get back to these weekly streams. So if you need the volume up or anything like that, volume up, volume down, let me know in the chat. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. And if anyone wants to send me some Ricola money, PayPal, CashApp, Venmo, get chalked up. Okay, last week I went into Donald Trump getting into this, like the North American Union. It's like almost like a prophetic old school conspiracy that it would be Mexico, the United States, and Canada as one giant, basically a borderless country, and it would have its own currency called the Amero. Now that was like from 20 years ago or more on the internet, that conspiracy. And it looks like it's kind of going that way right now. And I did forget to mention this right here. I know other channels have pointed it out, but the old school Club of Rome. I spent so long last week setting up all the software to do this that I forgot quite a few things. But the Club of Rome is, basically breaking down, instead of like miniature nations inside of continents, like there's just giant multipolar order, right? And that's a super old idea as well. So when we look at kind of the geopolitical landscape, it does appear that it's kind of going to, maybe not exactly this, but this type of idea. Give me 1 second here. It wants me to put in a pin. What? I don't know my pin for, I'm trying to sign into my chat here for whatever. I'll figure it out. So that's the one thing I forgot to talk about last week. And then I also, most importantly, forgot to talk about the Canada, United States, and Mexico being one giant mud fossil dragon. And it's blowing the smoke. It's blowing the fire out of its mouth up here. The heartland is the heart. I don't think you guys can see my my cursor. But like the little Florida's its little front leg. Super old school video EBT and I did, and if you guys want to go check that out, look up Outlining Our Enslavement, Amaruca. That's the land of the feathered serpent. We did that years ago, and that would be, not that it's necessarily is that, but just kind of as an idea. And that, they worship the dragon, right? Right, EBT? Shout out to Enslaved by Truth. Make sure you go follow him. So tonight I wanted to get into these guys here that I put on the thumbnail, and a few more. We got Donald Trump's buttering up to India. And so first, I guess the best way I'll just do it is just go left to right. So we'll start with this guy here on the left. I can't pronounce his name, but his name's like Sriram Krishnan or something. And that's what he's basically, he's like been a senior tech advisor at Microsoft. He was at Facebook for a while. He was at Snap. He has this podcast, believe it or not. So this guy, Donald Trump's appointing this guy here on the far left. He's appointing this guy to like his senior advisor on AI. And as far as I can tell, this guy has designed no AIs. He's considered like a tech guy or whatever, but he doesn't seem to be like propped up like Sam Altman or any of these Ray Kurzweil, any of these other guys that are considered like AI gurus. This guy's just like some tech bro that worked with Elon for a long time. He also has a podcast with his wife. That's called The Good Time Show. I'm going to bring that up here in just a minute. And he gets all kinds of, like, Zuck's been on there. Elon's been on his little podcast. He's a funny looking dude, man. He's like 6'5", big old Jeet. And, yeah, he's just like considered whatever, like straight up tech bro. Hold on. So let me take this guy down. We're going to pull up this dude here. I saved everything here on a playlist called The Jeet State. I can share that playlist after this stream. There we go. So this is the dude right here. And listen, we ain't VIP over here. We got ads on our YouTube. You're gonna have to deal with it. These ads are getting unbearable on YouTube. I decided to go ad free. I don't really want to opt into the payment, the AdSense yet on YouTube like I used to be. I feel like I get a lot more freedom to say what I want, play what I want, without having to worry about it being monetized.
Donald Trump has picked Indian-American entrepreneur and venture capitalist author Sriram Krishnan as senior White House policy advisor on artificial intelligence. In an official statement where he announced many other appointments, the president-elect said, Sriram Krishnan will serve as the senior policy advisor for artificial intelligence at the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy. Krishnan studied at SRM, Valiammai Engineering College in Tamil Nadu. He began his career at Microsoft, where he continued to the development of Windows Azure, working on its APIs and services. He's the author of the book Programming Windows Azure for O'Reilly. Krishnan joined Facebook in 2013, where he played a significant role in scaling the company's mobile app download ads business. He later also worked at Snap. Krishnan worked at Twitter until 2019, where he collaborated with Elon Musk on restructuring the platform. He became a general partner at Andreessen Horowitz in 2020. Later, in 2023, he led the firm's first international office in London. Krishnan, an investor, is also an advisor in the Indian fintech company Cred. He's known for co-hosting a podcast, The Art.
Dang it, I was muted, bro. I'm turning to Days of Noah here, bro. Too early in the stream to be muted. I said, real quick, I got a couple streams planned right now. I'm just doing these streams to kind of get some reps in, get the software how I want it, and get like. But basically, behind this guy is the WWE title, if you see it on his shelf. And I have 2 streams planned. I'm going to do a stream on Paul Wellstone. He's an extreme liberal senator from Minnesota over 20 years ago. I'm going to do that one. In the meantime, leading up to the election and probably right after the election, I'll do a few other streams, getting reps in. We'll do Paul Wellstone, and after that, I'll do the Vince McMahon stream, which will be a soft reset for my channel. And that'll introduce people to the concepts of actor-based reality, the world's a stage, and kayfabe. It'll be like a place where new viewers can jump on, and I'll also go over all the McMahon. Super interesting character, Vince McMahon. But this guy is a wrestling fan for sure. He's wearing like John Cena shirts and hats and other videos and stuff.
First international office in London. Krishnan, an investor, is also an advisor in the Indian fintech company Cred. He's known for co-hosting a Murthy. After Trump's announcement,
Did you see that? He's got like the action figures behind him. This dude's got like a Funko Pop.
Problem solved.
Play one more little video of him, and I think I got an article or two up on him. Like I said, we'll just go through all these guys left to right that are on the thumbnail. Got another guy, and get into kind of what I believe, or what are some possibilities for Trump's agenda with India.
A name that's suddenly making waves in global AI circles. But who is he? Why is he the OG? And why has Donald Trump, known for his unconventional decisions all the time, chosen him as the senior AI policy advisor for the United States?
Sriram Krishnan is an Indian-American tech entrepreneur and has been appointed to advise the White House on AI.
Sriram Krishnan was born into a Tamil middle-class family. He convinced his dad to buy a computer, but let me tell you, without internet access. And he then taught himself to code from books. Fast forward to his engineering degree at Anna University. And
I think this dude is an AI. He just learned to code just by reading a book. He didn't even have internet. I don't know about that.
by 2007, he was in the States. First stop, engineering, obviously. Because guys, let's face it,
And guys, how is my mic's volume compared to the videos and everything? Because last week that was a problem where the video was way too loud and my mic was too low. Let me know in the chat while this plays. I'm gonna play this out.
if you're not an engineer or even Indian, like every other ambitious 80s or 90s Indian kid, Sriram packed his bags and set off to the United States with dreams of making it big. There he became a prominent figure in Silicon Valley, working at absolute tech giants like Microsoft, Facebook, and then Twitter. But it was his role at Andreessen Horowitz, one of the world's top venture capital firms, where he gained a reputation as an absolute visionary in technology and business. He even worked very closely with Elon Musk.
Elon Musk has now sought the help of another Indian origin techie, Sriram Krishnan,
on the transformation of X, which was formerly Twitter, showcasing his ability to navigate complex technology and policy landscapes. Oh, and hey, did I mention that Sriram is also a podcasting superstar? That's right, guys. The Aarti and Sriram show, which he co-hosts with his wife, has featured everyone from Elon Musk to Mark Zuckerberg. So when you've got the biggest names in tech coming on your show to chat AI, well, the White House gig feels like just the next natural step, doesn't it? Rumor has it that Elon Musk might have whispered into Trump's ear, "This guy's really solid."
Yeah, that's probably what it is, right? Elon just donates so much money, and then he's like, hey, you got to take care of my boy. Because I don't hear anybody saying this guy is like the leading pioneer of AI. It's just kind of like, well, this dude has an Indian podcast. Let's use him. This guy's funny looking too, this guy. Uncommon Sense says AI is a massive social engineering operation. Yeah, it's just kind of the evolution of like Google search. And then they've purposely degraded these search engines so that you almost have to go use these ChatGPT programs to get what you're looking for, like a summary of what you're looking for. Because right now the thing ain't doing nothing. It's just making really shitty art. That's the only thing I see it doing. Like, I guess it's cool if you just want like a placeholder thumbnail or come up with an idea or something maybe. But I also agree that AI can't really do anything outside of whatever its program parameters are. Okay, so you got this dude here. Oh man, what's the guy's name? I forgot. I thought Swami. Yeah, Aarti and Sriram. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but
Unless you folks
this is the dude that's gonna tell Trump everything about AI.
This is one of these issues where, if I had to cut to the chase, this is sort of a no man's land for both political parties. For the left, they often wind up bundling it with illegal immigration reform, which is a whole bag of issues which, may never get done or may take a long time to get done. On the Republican side, it's about like, hey, how much do we support this?
So he's wearing a John Cena hat. It says hustle, loyalty, respect. And I'm glad he showed Kamala at the beginning too, because you got to remember, if you didn't get Trump, you were getting Kamala, another Indian. So it's like this massive influx of Indian personalities on the world stage coming in the forefront of America right at this time.
This in general, immigration in general. But I would say the core of the issue in my mind is the country caps.
Someone said racist country caps.
Yeah, it's
and you sort of see it as like, they have a point, as un-American as it can get, to cap it based on, where you come from. You have no control over it.
So this is the cutting edge podcast you get over in India. I do know they watch Outlining Our Enslavement and Chalk Body Outline over in India. Shout out to Pretty. I had sent her an email asking her a few questions about what do Indians think of Trump and what she thinks the play is here with Trump buttering up to the Indians and everything. And I can read that later in the stream. But anyway, that's that guy. There's not too much on him. Just to me, it seems like he's not the biggest AI guru. So I don't know why he would get the AI job. And the second guy, I'm sure you guys have seen or heard about him at least, is this guy here on the second to the left here. It's in the name, right? Cash Patel. His name is straight up Cash Patel. Crazy. Let me pull up the video here. And Cash Patel was the dude that was like, he was involved with January 6th. He's basically like Trump's biggest ball washer. Like he's all over Trump. And then he's the one that said Trump had classified documents at Mar-a-Lago. And people say he's getting it's a security clearance risk because he's getting promoted so fast within the Trump administration. He's a kooky dude, man. Hold on, I'm trying to get this video up here. Whoops, I don't have the screen up. We watching the ads,
Wix,
bro.
one platform, any website.
You getting the ads, bro.
Describe your...
Whereas US President-elect Donald Trump has chosen yet another Indian origin or person. This time it is Harmeet K. Dhillon as the Assistant Attorney General for Civil.
I played the wrong one. Hold on. I thought I had him in order. Where is this dude? This is the one.
Trump expands Cabinet 2.0. Kash Patel named the FBI director. That's another Indian American in Team Trump. That's the latest we're getting. Trump expands Cabinet 2.0. Kash Patel named FBI director. Another Indian American in Team Trump.
Dude's hilarious looking too. These guys look funny, man.
Geeta Mohan is joining us on the phone line for more on this. Geeta, give us more details on who exactly Kash Patel is and why Trump has picked him.
Well, Kash Patel is a very, very important man in the Trump camp. He was a very in the public defender and then later became federal prosecutor as well. Served in Trump 1.0 as well as now 2.0. He served as Trump's man and as the chief of staff at the Department of Defense, Deputy Director of Intelligence, National Intelligence, and Senior Director of Counterterrorism at the National Security Council during his first term. And now he's...
All right, I'm sorry. Indian people talk slow. I'm used to the 1.5x, but then when you speed it up, it's kind of hard to understand. It's kind of a gray area for me. I got one more video on this guy, and then I got some some other stuff. This dude's nuts for real. Oh, we got.
You can sell this
PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. Get chalked up.
of other spatula sellers.
We will clean out all of the corrupt actors in our national security and intelligence apparatus, and there are plenty of them.
Following through on his promise to root out what he calls quote-unquote lawfare in the Department of Justice, Donald Trump tapped Kash Patel, a longtime loyalist, to be the next FBI director. So who is Kash Patel?
I'd shut down the FBI Hoover building on day one and reopening the next day as a museum of the deep state.
Patel began his...
These guys are making a lot of day one promises. Trump, you just heard this guy. I mean, we're going to see this Trump administration. It's either going to be a nothing burger or it's going to be like day one, hit them running, push it as far as they can. I really don't know what to expect. I feel like everything's a nothing burger, but then at the same time, like, it's Trump and this is the world stage. And it seems like everything's been leading up to this. And if they want to radically transform America, this is the guy you got to do it behind to pacify the patriots, right? And get these people to go along with what they wouldn't normally go along with if it was Hillary or Kamala or anything like that. So we'll see. I don't know. Let me know in the chat what you guys, do you guys think Trump administration, do you think it'll be nothing burger or do you think it's just going to be like bam, bam, bam from day one? Because I find it hard to believe it might just be kind of a slow progress because this is he's got 4 years and that's it. Like he can't run again. He's got to hit the ground running. He's made tons of bold promises.
His career as a public defender and then federal prosecutor in the Justice Department's National Security Division. In 2017, Patel became the senior committee aide to House Intelligence Chair Devin Nunes and played a key role in helping Republicans try to discredit the investigation into Russian interference during the 2016 election. Patel joined the Trump administration in 2019 and held a number of roles, including as a top White House counterterrorism official and chief of staff to the acting defense secretary. Since then, Patel has remained in Trump's orbit, serving on the board of directors of Trump Media and Technology Group, which owns Truth Social. Patel has also been one of Trump's most visible and vocal allies, showing up at his criminal trial in Manhattan.
I am honored to be here in support of Donald J. Trump. He is being victimized.
Perpetuating conspiracy theories about the 2020 election.
They're the ones that lied to the American public over and over again to rig a presidential election.
And calling for a purge of Trump's political opponents from intelligence agencies like the DOJ and the FBI.
What would be the harshest punishment you could see happening to some of these people?
Some of them being prosecuted. I mean, there's nothing harsher than that, right?
But it's unclear whether Patel, who's a divisive figure even among Trump loyalists, will have the votes needed in the Senate to be confirmed. For one, Patel has been highly critical of the FBI, repeatedly blasting it for quote-unquote deep state corruption. He also accused prominent political figures like Joe Biden and Bill Barr of being part of the quote-unquote deep state. And several former federal law enforcement officials have opposed a Patel nomination. In early 2021, Trump floated Patel's name to head either the FBI or CIA in his last weeks in office. Then Attorney General Bill Barr responded saying, quote, over my dead body, unquote. And in response to Patel's current nomination, William Webster, the only person who has formerly led both the CIA and the FBI, called Patel's allegiance to Trump concerning. So what could be expected from Kash Patel leading the FBI? Patel has promised to significantly reform the Bureau if confirmed. But Patel's biggest impact could be in how he uses the power of the FBI to go after Trump's political opponents, something he previously vowed to do.
We will go out and find the conspirators, not just in government, but in the media. Whether it's criminally or civilly, we'll figure that out. But yeah, we're putting you all on notice.
Okay, so they're setting it up like, whoops. Okay, I'm on. They're setting it up like, well, Trump got politically persecuted, so it's going to be turnabout as fair play, where Trump's going to be able to go out and have his people persecute his enemies politically. I mean, they'll get the MAGA people to agree with that, right? They'll be like, well, you did it to him, so turnabout is fair play. That's kind of what it's going to be. Yo, shout out to the chat, man. I see Smith in here. Kelly Kibo, Skate and Destroy. Tommy, Illumitami, Station 33. Good to see you, Tommy. Welcome to Bollywood. That's part of it, too, is like I've been saying actor-based reality, the world's a stage, all this stuff's like filmed in a Hollywood studio, but now it's like so bad, it's getting worse and worse, that it's like a Bollywood movie now, right? Like the dude ducked behind the desk and cut his ear real quick and got up, like it's not even believable at this point. It's purposely bad on purpose to get you to check out of the mainstream media. I guess there's a lot of different multifaceted things at play for why they do it, but we got Cash. Play one more, and then I'll show you this funny ass video on Cash. Just one more little 1 minute.
Hey, sorry for interrupting.
Damn, these ads suck. I ain't paying no whatever it is, $15. I'm so cheap. I'm a J.
About the president-elect's cabinet picks, Kash Patel for FBI director. That comes against the backdrop of this latest terror attack in New Orleans. You, of course, serve on the Judiciary Committee. If Kash Patel is confirmed, will you be able to work with him? You've been quite critical of him.
Well, first of all, Kash Patel should not be confirmed. And I think the terrorist attack in New Orleans and my heart goes out to those who have lost loved ones in that attack, just underscores again the importance of having someone directing the FBI that has experience, that has judgment, that has character, that will prioritize defending the country against the violence we saw in New Orleans or the violence we saw on January 6th. Not someone whose top priority is political vendettas, who believes in deep state conspiracy thinking, not someone who is as unqualified as Kash Patel.
Now that sounds like something a deep stater would say. That's what I think. This is what I wanted to play a little bit of this other one. This one's funny as hell. This dude,
Matt has his mask.
This dude has a straight up video, or I'm sorry, Kash Patel. He has a children's book called, basically saying Donald Trump's the king, laying out like MAGA Q-tard conspiracies for children, but under the disguise of like a children's book.
The king? Let's see. I know maybe you don't recognize this guy. Oh. Hold on, wait a second. Cut to that image that you have up there.
The plot against the king.
Who's that guy? Oh,
he's like a knight in the children's book, and then the king looks like Trump.
That's
the hero.
That's Kash Patel. He's our hero. Okay. Now, I've known people who, write short stories.
Well, then here's the cover.
The king. Now, of course, it's about Donald Trump, and
is that like Pelosi, or is that supposed to be Trump's wife? I'm not sure. And then you see Barron on there. There's a plot against the king. Crazy.
You see Hillary looking over there.
It's about
it's Hillary.
Donald Trump, and now you could have done like the plot against the president, but no, you fictionalize it and you make it for kids, so you make it about a king.
Yeah, presidents are boring.
Right? Instead of and then, because it's all make-believe. Mm-hmm. Except for the fact that it's exactly the Donald Trump. So the king part is fictionalized. Now, it could have been like there was a king once and his name was John.
Yeah.
John Fair.
You got your mask.
When you cross the bridge.
Dang, I hate these ads. Sorry, this is a low budget show. We got to deal with it. Appreciate everyone here.
$. For
news professional.
Yeah.
Matt has his master's in literature, so he understands what the secret code is
crafting
here.
this all out.
Thus, King Donald moved into the castle, and everyone turned to head home. Okay, well, whatever, we'll all go home. But before the people could leave, a herald jumped to his stand to make a proclamation. Wait! He proclaimed through his herald trumpet.
What?
I don't think that's the way trumpets work, but whatever. Okay.
He thinks it's
ridiculous. Analog Lime in the chat says Q is a Star Trek reference for all of you lames. Bro, if you know that, you're the lame, bro. We don't watch Star Trek here. Nobody watching Star Trek, Star Wars. None of that. One more video on this guy, and then we're going to move on.
Trump's pick for FBI director has unveiled a bold and controversial plan to overhaul the nation's premier law enforcement agency. His proposals, which he views as essential reforms, have sparked sharp criticism from legal experts and former officials. Here's a look at 10 key changes Patel aims to implement. Patel has vowed to remove senior FBI leadership, accusing them of political corruption and undermining presidential authority. He argues that such a purge is necessary to restore integrity to the Bureau. One of Patel's more contentious proposals is withholding FBI funding until the agency releases documents and testimony that he claims will expose alleged corruption within its ranks.
Yeah, shout out to Abraham Clark. I did forget to mention that his name is CashApp, like KASHYAP. That's his name. It's just like CashApp. It's crazy.
Patel has suggested legal measures against
CashApp Patel, just like the scammers and shit.
Both government leakers and the journalists who report on classified information, aiming to clamp down on unauthorized disclosures. To combat leaks, Patel proposes mandatory monthly scannings of federal employees' devices to ensure no classified information is improperly transferred. Patel wants to replace senior staff, particularly in national security roles, with individuals he believes align with the president's agenda, arguing that this will restore focus on government priorities. He has recommended shutting down the iconic J. Edgar Hoover building in Washington, D.C., and repurposing it as a museum, with FBI staff moved to regional offices across the country.
That was a big Donald Trump talking point when he went on Joe Rogan. It was kind of like restructure everything and actually physically move these offices in different departments that could collaborate together and do unethical things, like literally move them in separate parts of the country so that stuff like that doesn't happen.
Patel envisions a more field-oriented FBI, with staff dispersed across smaller offices rather than concentrated in Washington, D.C., to improve operational efficiency. Patel advocates for reducing job protections for federal employees, making it easier to fire career staff and replace them with appointees who support the administration. In line with Trump's criticism of the press, Patel has proposed taking legal action against journalists and media outlets that he claims defame him or undermine conservative values. Patel's plan could include using the FBI to investigate Trump's political adversaries, with inquiries potentially launched under legal pretenses but with political motivations. Kash Patel's sweeping reforms have set the stage for a fierce debate over the future of the FBI. While he argues that these changes are essential for restoring accountability, critics warn they could erode civil liberties and politicize the agency. As Patel's vision moves closer to reality, the discussion about its implications will only intensify.
Crazy. Yeah, if I got to vote, man, or guess, I would say that it's all going to hit the fan as soon as Trump starts. And I think Trump will move the Overton window so far and so fast, and then we'll get into the next fake Trump assassination or something. They'll have to give people a reason to accept that that's something that people would be trying to do or something. I guess they already do, right? They already sold it to the people with the fake one. All right, we got Kash Patel. He's done. Let's go back over here. Hold on. We got the next guy, the guy you guys are probably most familiar with here is the third guy, or the second to the right here, in the pink shirt. Vivek Ramaswamy Drain Swampy. This guy, I became familiar with this guy one day out of nowhere. This dude was hitting my feed hard. It was like a speech that he gave at a valedictorian speech when he was in high school or maybe college. I'm not sure. I never heard the dude. I kind of clicked it because I was like, what is this, right? And I didn't really watch it. I skimmed through it. And then later I saw another video from him in a day or two later like from when he was young again. I was like, what? I didn't really get it. And he talks just like Obama, kind of looks like Obama. And then like shortly after that, then he was all over the news and talking about he was going to run for president and stuff like that. Let me make sure I got all my Cash Patel links done here. Yeah, that one's done. Yeah, I smashed through him. So let's get on to Vivek Ramaswamy, this dude right here. And he was recently embroiled in that Twitter controversy. This is obviously, I'm sure you guys have heard of this guy. And if you haven't, though, he's the guy. He ran for president. He stepped down, endorsed Trump, you know, for an exchange for a cabinet position or something. And now he's going to head that DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, with Elon Musk and they're going to make the government smaller by creating a whole nother government department, but supposedly, like, you know, slash all these jobs and everything like that. And so he's working with Elon on that, and he was involved in the Twitter controversy recently about saying about the H-1Bs and saying that the Indians work harder than Americans, and Americans are too lazy, and American culture only promotes like slackers on movies and stuff. And that's why Americans don't become engineers. Hold on. Oh, damn, I didn't mute the mic. Oops. But let's get into this dude. Get into a little bit of this dude.
I took two things that I
Thank you.
Elon Musk in Trump Sarkar 2.0.
Got it. Now remember the first term, he had a picture like that.
Elon Musk in Trump Sarkar 2.0.
That might be from the first term. I'm not sure, but that's when he had that photo like that, and he said, "This is the calm before the storm." And they said, "What is the storm?" And he said, "You'll see." And then shortly after that, Trump's involved with Stormy Daniels controversy. And if you are to believe like QAnon as kind of a roadmap, I don't believe it, but I do believe it could be kind of foreshadowing things to come, predictive programming almost. And then you see all the promises he's making already day one. It seems like it's going down. Shout out to Archaics.
Musk and Ramaswamy to lead DOGE. Trump's A-team to shock bureaucracy. Can DOGE dismantle the deep state? Musk in the White House, top focus on
already naming the people who will align themselves with executing the Trump brand of politics, not just in the United States, but the world over. But among the big announcements, here's the very latest. It came in early this morning, and boy, has it sent shockwaves. Donald Trump, in case you missed it, has picked one of the world's most controversial and polarizing billionaire tycoons, Elon Musk, and Indian origin politician who dropped out of the presidential race to support and endorse Trump, Vivek Ramaswamy, to lead what he's calling DOGE. Well, not the Bitcoin, not the cryptocurrency, but Department of Government Efficiency. These two men, Vivek and Elon, will be wielding a giant axe, a giant sledgehammer, a giant weapon, whatever you want to call it,
in order to smash bureaucracy.
Elon is such a nut there. I did talk with EBT earlier today. I think we'll be doing a live stream here soon on this channel, hopefully this week, about Elon. I believe we've decided on Elon because there's just so much to talk about with Elon and his vaporware, his fake video game, and everything about him is a fraud and a fake. And now these people are just kind of just figuring this out, like, oh, but X was free speech, and then he came and slammed everyone's on there. Like, it's crazy.
That he truly means business. What it's going to look like going forward is anybody's guess, but for now, Trump has
part of his campaign. Among the agencies Ramaswamy called for eliminating was the Department of Education, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives.
And right now, we need to step up and fill that void with our own vision. Answer, what does it mean to be an American in the year 2024? It means we believe in the ideals of 1776. It means we believe in merit, that the best person gets the job regardless of their skin color, that you get ahead in this country, not on the color of your skin, but on the content of your character.
This dude is Obama 2.0, man. He talks just like him. He moves just like him, real smooth like Obama.
And your contributions. That's why we're done with the woke DEI agenda, bringing in meritocracy to America. It means we believe in the rule of law, and I say this as the kid of legal immigrants to this country.
In his first term, Trump imposed a mandate requiring federal agencies repeal 2 regulations for every new regulation they put forward. In September, he had said he will eliminate a minimum of 10 existing regulations for every new one proposed. But closing a federal agency is easier said than done. It would require action from the Congress and might be difficult even if Republicans maintain control of the House. Bureau Report, Business Today Television.
Damn it, I'm muted. Why didn't you tell me, woman? I'm blaming my wife. That's your fault, Layla. What did I say? I forgot. Damn it, I'm on like Days of Noah level. Dang it. Excuse me. Dang it. I said it's a bad idea, I think, to just get rid of all government agencies. Obviously, they're way too much bureaucracy, and there might be a better way to handle it. I'm not really sure though, but I don't think you could just start chopping agencies completely. They need to change the way the agencies run. That a government agency runs the exact opposite of like a private capital company where they're trying to make a profit. The government agency is trying to spend as much as possible, wasteful and waste money to get an increased budget for the next year. That's what I was saying. Dang it. Look at that Doge, that AI Doge thing. That's hilarious. Yeah, these people think like Elon's so based. Yeah, I think.
All right, so listen up. State Farm.
Excuse me. I'm dying, bro. I'll leave Elon for another night. We'll talk about Elon with EBT, Enslaved by Truth. Make sure you go follow him. Vivek Ramaswamy. What else do I got on this guy? I think that might be. Oh, I did have this one. Yeah, he went to Harvard and then he got a degree from Yale. So even though he's not an admitted Skull and Bones member, they do say like he is part of a Jewish secret society that comes out of Yale. and it says like they just like it's basically like a secret society that people just they try to teach them like reverence for other people's religions and especially Jews. Yeah, they call it an intellectual society where students come together for conversation and community. Like other Yale societies, Think Skull and Bones, the organization's meetings are invite only. But unlike other secret groups on campus that meet weekly in the century-old tombs, the group is called the Shabtai. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but Shabtai isn't clandestine, and its unifying principle is religion. A rabbi is present, prayers are offered, and Jewish holy days are observed. This guy, Toby, the group's director, told me they welcome all different people of all different faiths. Toby, I guess, is a woman. Her husband, Rabbi Shmuley, is one of Shabtai's co-founders. So that society's been in existence for 30 years, and it says they produced a global network of alumni. Much of the society's activities seem geared towards developing deep respect for religions and ideological pluralism, while also engendering a special reverence for the Jewish people. And did I lose that quote? Or I had a link about, I'll just look it up again. He had a controversy about he paid to remove Wikipedia edits about his Jewish ties, and he was part of a COVID-19 response team, and he thought that was a bad look if you're running for Republican. So he paid someone to delete that before he announced his presidential run. The changes include scrubbing the fact that Ramaswamy received the Paul and Daisy Soros Fellowship for New Americans in 2011 and Ramaswamy's role in the Ohio COVID-19 response team. The changes were made, are reported by Mediarite. They paid this dude. Why would Ramaswamy want something like his Paul and Daisy Soros Fellowship for New Americans scrubbed from Wikipedia? The late Paul Soros is the brother of George Soros, a Democratic megadonor who is often held up as an evil puppet master by far-right figures. Notably, Ramaswamy announced his candidacy for president on the show of Tucker Carlson before the host was recently booted from Fox News. Carlson often railed against Soros on his top-rated show. Ramaswamy's participation in the Ohio COVID-19 response team was also removed by the paid editor, though it's not entirely clear why. As a mediate notes, whatever, there's no evidence that Ramaswamy advocated for draconian lockdowns. But some Republicans believe anything to do with response to the pandemic is political poison, which might explain why the former President Donald Trump rarely talks about it. The Wikipedia notes for Ramaswamy mentioned deleting the COVID-19 response team was at subject's request. So he didn't have much traction when he ran. He bowed out pretty early, actually. But at least he got his name out there on the world stage, and now he's rubbing elbows with Trump, part of the administration. All right, we'll move on from that guy. I got two more here I want to talk about, and then we'll talk about what the possible motives are for Donald Trump's alliance with India. And don't forget J.D. Vance, right? He's married. His wife is Indian. That's a big part of it. This lady on the far right wearing the shawl. See if you remember her. That's who we'll get into next. Let's go watch a YouTube ad about her. In 1 second here. Things are all out of order. Harmeet Dillon. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but her name is something like Harmeet Dillon. She's a lawyer, a Sikh. And they give me the unskippables here. Make sure you guys do your taxes.
President-elect Donald Trump has chosen yet another Indian origin or person. This time it is Harmeet K. Dhillon as the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights. A major breakthrough for the Indian origin individuals.
Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights. That's going to be this woman's role. You guys have seen her before. You just might not remember.
Trump administration 2.0 as the U.S. President-elect has chosen another Indian origin American, Harmeet K. Dhillon, as the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights. This is a major development coming in from the U.S. where President Donald Trump, who will begin his tenure shortly, has chosen Indian origin Harmeet K. Dhillon to lead the civil rights movement, as she has been appointed as the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights.
So big time push of Indians. Excuse me. From this white base they were never explicitly promised a rise of the white man and the white person getting back in, but that's what they believed. Was it implied? I mean, maybe not. If you know who Trump is, right? He says, "I'm a snake. Why'd you let me in?" He's famous for saying the snake poem in Ohio near the Serpent Mound. But who this lady is if you remember, there was just when Donald Trump got shot, and then it was like 2 or 3 days before the Republican National Convention, and then this was the lady that came on the stage.
The cloister at Seattle.
There was a lot of backlash about this lady came on and said a Sikh prayer for Donald Trump, and she put the headscarf on, the covering, and people were saying, "Oh, it's witchcraft and it's evil. It's an evil spell on Donald Trump."
It's an honor as a Sikh American and the vice chair of the California Republican Party to share a prayer from my faith tradition, Sikhism, the 5th largest religion in the world. Ardas is a Sikh prayer appealing to the one God above for protection and guidance, a reminder to uphold the Sikh and American values of humility, truth, courage, service, justice for all, and gratitude for all that our Creator has given to us. A Sikh always covers her head when offering this prayer. तू ठाकर तुम पे अरदास जियो पिंड सब तेरी रास तुम मात पिता हम बारक तेरे तुमरी कृपा में सुख कनेरे कोई न जाने तुमरा अंत ऊंचे ते ऊंचा भगवंत सगल समगरी तुमरे सूत्रधारी तुम ते हो सो आज्ञाकारी तुमरी गत मित तुम ही जानी नानक दास सदा कुर्बानी. Dear Waheguru, please bless these delegates from all.
Who are these cucks bowing their head, or they call themselves a Christian or so? She could be saying anything, and these people are just like giving it so much reverence. She's a Sikh. I don't know how to spell it. Obese tuna. Like those Sikh, they wear like the turban. I think it's like a sect of Muslim. I don't even know enough about it. They're the legit Muslims.
Over this great nation you have created, with the integrity to perform faithfully our sworn duty to nominate leaders to take America in the right direction. Please protect us from evil and create prosperity for all Americans. Waheguruji, please give us the courage to make the right choices, to make common cause with those with whom we may disagree, for the greater good of our nation. Waheguruji, forgive us our shortcomings, our oversights, and the times when we may fall short of fulfilling the roles that you have chosen for us. Nanak naam chardi kala tere pane sarbat tapala, which means, through our prophets, teachers, and spiritual guides, may your name forever grow, God, and may your spirit be exalted, and may all humanity prosper by your grace. Thank you.
Oops, that was the all over Twitter. They were like, yeah, that, or X. They were like, yeah, it's satanic, it's witchcraft and everything like that. She's a super big Trump supporter. When you look at her qualifications, she does seem pretty qualified. It doesn't seem like a DI thing. But they're flaming her just for that weird, the weird to a Christian, I guess, prayer, right? I think it's more weird that those people kind of bowed down to it. This was embarrassing. America is a Christian country. Whoops. This was blasphemous. That's the Joe versus the volcano, man. We still got like 5 days left for my Joe versus the volcano prediction. Joe Biden and a giant volcano to blow up. We got it. We got it. Okay, that was her. The Sikh prayer. What's this one? Hold on, I'm missing one. Here it is. I think her most famous case as an attorney was this James Damore. He was sued Google for saying they discriminate against white conservative men. Sorry, I was about to sneeze. Hold on. Mr. Damore and his lawyer Harmeet Dillon, I'm probably saying that wrong, held a news conference and said the company discriminated against white men who held political views different from those of Google executives. It's a class action suit joined by it was started by another Google engineer, Dave whatever. Lawsuit says Google employees who express views deviating from the majority view at Google on political subjects raised in the workplace and relevant to Google's employment policies and its businesses, such as diversity, hiring policies, bias sensitivity, or social justice, are singled out, mistreated, and systemically punished and terminated from Google in violation of their legal rights. That guy was fired when his 10-page internal memo criticizing the company's diversity policies, specifically questioning the biological capability of women to be in engineers' roles, and has been unemployed since.
On behalf of Global Conservative.
You can't even hear it, but that's her meeting with that guy and giving like a press conference about it. Mr. Dillon, the guy said, or no, Ms. Dillon, the woman, the Sikh, she said that in California, your political views are a protected characteristic, and that what Google had already done to Mr. Damore and others is illegal. She said, I don't want people to get fired for their liberal views, but added that Mr. Damore was fired within 48 hours of the internal memo leaking because of a mob on the internet determined his views unpopular. So that was one of her more high-profile, famous cases. So that was all the people on the cover. Trump's got one more though that I ran out of time and room to fit this other guy on here. So there's one more main member of the Jeet state. So let's get into that. And he's not on the cover, and I have no idea how to say his name. Let's go. This dude right here. These ads, man. Ads are going to kill me. Yo, shout out to the chat. We got 65 people in the house. Hit the thumbs up. Appreciate your time.
To Times XP, today we are diving into the story of Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, an Indian origin physician, economist, and professor at Stanford University who has emerged as one of the President-elect Donald Trump's top choices to lead the National Institution of Health, or also we can call it NIH. But who exactly is Dr. Bhattacharya and why is he being considered for this top position? Let's break it down. Dr. Jay Bhattacharya was born in Kolkata in 1968. He is not just a doctor, but he's also an economist and holds both an MD and PhD from Stanford University. Currently, he is a professor of health policy at Stanford and directs the Center for Demography and Economics of Health and Aging. Well, pretty impressive, right? His research focuses on some of the most pressing issues in health policy, particularly around vulnerable population. He's interested in understanding how economics, government policies, and biomedical advancements can all work together to improve people's health. For example, he studies how different government responds to public health crises. For example, the COVID-19 pandemic impacts society and how to better handle these challenges in near future. Now, Bhattacharya has also been very vocal about
I have no idea what she's saying for his name. I won't even try to say it. Dr. B. I'm going to call him Dr. B.
his opinion on the need for change at the NIH. For those who are unfamiliar, then NIH is the US government's medical research agency. It funds thousands of studies that lead to new treatments, medications, and vaccines as well. Bhattacharya believes that NIH should focus more on funding innovative and creative research and that the agency's long-term leaders should have less influence over its direction. Now let me tell you, earlier this week, Bhattacharya met with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., whom President-elect Trump has chosen to head the Department of Health and Human Services. Now this oversees the NIH too. Reportedly, Bhattacharya impressed Kennedy with his vision for reshaping the NIH, encouraging them to...
Bro, Rochelo is just in the chat, just spurging, bro. Chill, bro. Rochelo's the biggest spurg. Anyway, this is this dude. This dude has a controversy because he was against the severe lockdowns and everything like that. Dr. B. However you say his name. I thought I had one more video of this guy, maybe not. This was the guy, though, he was a doctor, and when they came out with that thing called the Twitter files, it was like a list of blacklisted like doctors and scientists when they were talking about COVID. And yeah, it says one name at the center of that was Jay Bhattacharya, whatever his name is, Dr. B, a Stanford professor, a Stanford's medical school. I can't even talk. I'm so sick, bro. I'm good though. A professor at Stanford's medical school, he rose to prominence as the co-author of the Great Barrington Declaration, which opposed COVID lockdown measures. Last week, it emerged that Twitter had placed him on a trends blacklist. Now, this was before Elon bought it, to secretly limit the popularity of his tweets. Or maybe it was after Elon bought it, I don't know. It says, following that, Elon contacted Professor B and invited him into Twitter HQ to discuss the matter and view the evidence of his censorship for himself. So maybe it was like right after Elon bought it. He spoke exclusively to this dude and said what he and Musk discussed. Blah, blah, blah. There's a long article about him, but yeah. That's this guy's controversy, is that he was against the fierce lockdowns, and his thing that he called the Barrington Declaration was like to give priority to high risk and senior members of society, and meanwhile let everyone else acquire natural immunity. Like somehow that's controversial. Not sure why, but it also does seem like when you look at what's coming down the pipeline, they're already ramping up the bird flu risk, right? So we'll see how they want the Trump, who the father of the vaccine and this guy, how they're going to respond if they do. Those wily Democrats, as Benton says, shout out to Benton, if they try to pull another pandemic or whatever on them. We'll see what the response is. I think personally, like, a lot of people just wouldn't comply again this time. I mean, they did the first time, so why wouldn't they the second time? I don't know. I feel like a lot of people have changed their mind about it too. So it's hard to say, and I guess maybe we'll see it play out very soon. So that's another one of Donald Trump's members of the Jeet state. So Vivek Ramaswamy, I went through all these guys. Make sure I didn't have one more video on that guy. I thought I had one more. Yeah, I guess not. But anyway, let me wrap it up since I'm sick and I got to work tomorrow. So where it looks like Trump's coming from, at least from like the kayfabe idea that this is all real and as seen on TV, the official fiction, as Benton says, second back-to-back, shout out to Benton. So I was looking at here, like, and I've said for a long time on this channel that I think that they're already there, but the controllers of the media, whoever those people may be, I think their next focus is India. And it is, like, if you look at the types of television and everything presented over there. And when you look at the G7 countries versus those BRICS nations, and this is from 2023, so it's a little behind, but you can see, like, where all the money is. And India is small. Oh, man. Dying, bro. India, with that gigantic population, they have just a small chunk of the pie at $3 million. So there's easily room for a lot of growth inside of India as far as to raise all their GDP and everything like that. And, like, there's tons of room for growth with the amount of people that they have there. And I've said for a long time that's where these people will go next. And they're already focusing there. I subscribe to a thing called Sony Music India on my phone, and you can just see the same types of videos that were here in, like, the 80s. Like, they introduced the occult themes and thriller and everything into the society at that time. Now all that type of stuff is going into the Indian videos, and they're still all about, like, you know, the family values and everything over there. So these parasites are over there already corrupting the family unit and everything over there, and trying to get all the money and everything they can. Yeah, this is this dude. So Donald Trump, he's built some Trump Towers over there in the last few years. And they actually, well, he didn't build them. He basically just leased the name out, and they came in and they built some Trump Towers over there. I can't remember. It's possibly up to 7 of them. And I think part of the buttering up to India is to kind of, you know, expand his brand out there. And Elon Musk could be part of that too, right? Like, he wants to create the X app, which is going to be a payment app, and everything's going to be ran through that app. And Elon wants a piece of that too, as that's a growing market. Oh, I'm dying, bro. But yeah, so basically they just kind of rent his name and create Trump Towers over there with the gold branding and everything like that. It's all on brand for what you'd expect for Trump. I know the one thing I did want to show is you also got to understand kind of what's going on for Trump and everyone over there, and why it's being targeted. Is you got to kind of take a look at what's going on inside the culture of India. So this was actually a really good video. It's really long. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but they talk about the rise of hate speech in India. This is actually a really good video.
It's time for you to
Let's play some of it, but it talks about basically like the Hindu nationalism over there in India, and then they're calling all the Muslims over there, they're calling them illegal immigrants and invaders, the same types of things that you see over here. So one of the possible plays, in my opinion, could be that as Trump tries to get the rise of Christian nationalism, then we'll see how that plays into, or how India plays into that. You have, I'm not saying the Indians will like convert, but if there does become a larger growing trend of Muslims here in America, as like the Albert Pike Third World War, Christians and Muslims, if that's something that starts to pop off. And like I said, in that Billy Carson stream EBT and I did, I think that was like a humiliation ritual for Billy Carson, and you'll eventually see him move into become a Muslim, and they'll promote that to like black youths and stuff like that. It'll kind of replace the gangster rap and everything eventually, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but it'll just be there to create more and more conflict. And the Indians are already against them, so that could be part of the play. But let me play some of this.
The media are typically seen as makers of consensus and harmony and...
Yeah, Obese Tuna says there are 250 million Muslims in India. Exactly. Even though they're a minority in India, there's so many people in India that it's a huge number. And like the H-1B, they were saying even if you took only 1% of Indians in for H-1B, it's like a gigantic number.
Concordance, all of that. But India is actually a spectacular case of the opposite happening. The Hindus, who are the majority, are being positioned as the victims of historic injustice, and it's the minority that are being presented as their aggressors.
So you got to understand, this is from Al Jazeera, so it's from that other perspective, and from the perspective of Muslim countries. And doesn't Al Gore own it? I wonder if he still does. I think he bought it or something. I don't know if he still owns it or not, but the same things that are happening in America to the media and to the radicalization of the polarization as well of the population. The same things happen over there, the same playbook, and you can see it. They have a lot of really good examples.
The Hindu public is constantly being made to feel beleaguered. They're presented with this external threat, Muslims, against which they're supposed to unite. And in the process, the viewing public is actually led to assent to whatever the political leadership says.
I think it's a great idea. House sitters get somewhere.
Yo, we broke over here. Sorry, apologize.
Like a slow-acting poison, the effect on the Muslims targeted has proven toxic, at times deadly. Hate speech proposes violence as a solution, and in India, it is pumped out night after night. The country has hundreds of news channels, many of which have monetized conflict. They trade in hyper-Hindu nationalism, xenophobia, name-calling, usually in support of India's ruling party, the BJP, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
And again, this would be from the perspective of like CNN or a liberal type perspective from America.
When you say patriotism is in your heart, then why are you being forced? Why are you forcing us?
It's like a gladiatorial fight, evening upon evening.
Yo, this shit looks lit, bro. These Indians need to come on the panel, bro. They would at least be watching it if they watch this. They'd love it.
With all its attendant cruelties and the banality of hypnotic entertainment.
I think, sir, you are appalling in the way you conduct yourself on television. It's appalling. You're a disgrace.
And there's also this joy that people find in the collective flaying of ideas that are contrarian to establishment, or the flaying of an individual or a community.
इस देश में मदरसों का एक बड़ा योगदान है, कट्टरपंथियों की कारखाने हैं.
The problem really lies in something called ratings.
Newsmakers.
When the game becomes one of viewership and you are just trying to grab eyeballs.
Until she walks in. Watch renowned journalist Navika Kumar.
Anything goes. The intensity of this battle for ratings has made television more and more shrill, to some extent even irresponsible.
Yo, numbers are dropping, bro. People don't like the Jeets. They don't like the Bollywood actors. But this is going to be essential to lay this groundwork, I think, as we get into the Trump administration and wherever they're taking this. This is going to be a big, giant part of it.
A very senior panelist described them as banshees because of the manner in which they're always.
Yo, we need Talcott on one of these Indian shows. Talcott, forget the UN. Talcott needs to go on whatever these channels are right here.
Wailing. And this kind of dramatized TV seems to work because our very insecure, down and out middle class.
It's just like Springer over there. See what I'm saying, though? They've introduced all this style of media over there like it was here in the 80s and 90s and stuff.
Likes to put a face to all its insecurities, to all its fears, to all its anger.
One has to were to be treated equally.
And since I'm too sick to run through all this, but it's basically the same thing. And I'm gonna drop this link actually in the live chat because this is actually a really good video. But when you understand it, it's like leftist propaganda, right? I'll put this one up in the chat. So I think what you're gonna see from Donald Trump, I'm gonna play one or two more videos. Let me play this one.
Hey.
Yeah, where this is the video where Donald Trump's talking about his tariffs, and I think what the tariffs are obviously is it's a threat and a bargaining chip, right? Like he's not really going to be tariffing somebody 60% or anything, but he's going to say, hey, I want X, Y, and Z. You know, you want A, B, and C. Let's come to an agreement, and we're going to reduce this tariff.
Us, we tax them the same amount. They tax us. Forget it just for a second about the word tax. They tax us, we tax them. And they tax us almost in all cases, they're taxing us, and we haven't been taxing them.
The president has very clear agenda for tariffs. And I think reciprocity is something that is going to be a key topic for us. How you treat us is how you should expect to be treated.
We're going to make great deals, and we have all the cards. And until I came along, don't forget, and Howard was going over the numbers with me last night, we took in $600 billion and more in taxes and tariffs from China. No other president took in 10 cents, not 10 cents, not 10 cents. Because if somebody charges us, India, we don't have to talk about own. If India charges us 100%, do we charge them nothing for the same? You know, they send in a bicycle and we send them a bicycle. They charge us 100 and 200. India charges a lot. Brazil charges a lot. If they want to charge us, that's fine, but we're going to charge them the same thing.
So again, this is just going to be a bargaining chip for Trump, I believe, the tariffs to get what he wants. But it does seem he is going to go to economic, at least from what he says. Again, the whole thing could be a nothing burger, but at least from what he says, he wants to kind of go to economic war with China. And so what I think one of the ultimate plays is that he wants to, when the Chinese goods dry up in an economic war, he wants to have another place to source all this material from, or not the material, but the products, I guess, is instead of everything being made in China, it'll soon be made in India, and it'll be a boost to India's economy. The Jays are in there, that gets all the money coming in there. They have this thing called I think it's called like the China-India thaw or something right now. They say they're on good working relationships now, and they're letting people come in with their visas and everything over in India. And India admits, and if you read the articles, that basically like they don't have the capacity and the knowledge to do these types of numbers of products like China does. So I think the reason they're kind of softening their stance with China is they know they're going to have to bring people in from China into India if they want to run some of this manufacturing at the high levels of numbers that China cranks them out. They're gonna need that. They're gonna need the shipping shipping expertise, like the piers and everything. Like they're gonna need the VIP workers that know how to structure these companies and just crank this stuff out. And it'll be done through India. In my opinion, that's one of the many things. Also, he wants to, trade with India. India wants to trade with the United States, actually. So that's, and then when I got into the BRICS thing, like there's no talk of BRICS making their own currency anytime soon. They even say none of those BRICS countries are even on the same page, like economically. And one of these Indian guys, I don't remember his exact title, on one of the videos I watched, the dude basically said, like, yeah, we're at least 10 years away from even coming to some kind of an agreement of having even a BRICS currency, what it would even be. And so when you watch the last stream I had about the North American Union and the creation of the Amero, the singular currency for all those countries, back then it said, this is a 20 years out idea, and it's been 25 years, and now they're just kind of floating it. So if there was a single currency for a quote-unquote North American Union, I mean, we're still a ways away from that, 30 years from the original article. So when they say 10 years away from a BRICS currency, the reality is probably like 20 years away. So in the meantime, they need to maintain some kind of trade balance. Also, don't forget Trump talked about building the freedom cities. I have this in here. I totally forgot about this. That could be a play with the Greenland thing. Oh, hold on. Before I get into that one, let me pull it up, though. It's Donald Trump's tariffs. There's so much to get into here. That's why I'm like, this is like, I just have to stream and lay the groundwork because there's just so much there. Remember, Donald Trump talked about freedom cities, and what he said they would be is like, basically it's the idea of a 15-minute city or a smart city, but he calls it a freedom city. He said vertical takeoff and landing vehicles and everything like that. But the main thing he talked about was that the regulations would be not restricted, but I guess restrict the regulations that stifle business and everything, like limiting the hours and all the other things that these businesses can't do. So he said in these freedom cities, all those restrictions would be lifted to create a great economic boom and bring manufacturing back to America. And that's the whole point, too, of the tariffs is obviously is if it's coming out of China for super high price now with the tariff, well, you're trying to incentivize those companies to build plants in America to build them in America instead of shipping them over. And so I was wondering if that's part of the play of Greenland is to get that land, to get his little freedom cities going. Let me play this, and then I'll pull up one more thing after this.
Americans pursued big dreams and daring projects that once seemed absolutely impossible. They pushed across an unsettled continent and built new cities in the wild frontier. They transformed American life with the interstate highway system. Magnificent it was. And they launched a vast network of satellites into orbit all around the Earth. But today, our country has lost its boldness. Under my leadership, we will get it back in a very big way. If you look at just 3 years ago, what we were doing was unthinkable. How good it was, how great it was for our country. Our objective will be a quantum leap in the American standard of living. That's what will happen. Here are just a few of the ways we can do it. Almost 1/3 of the land mass of the United States is owned by the federal government, with just a very, very small portion of that land, just a fraction, 1/2 of 1%. Would you believe that? We should hold a contest to charter up to 10 new cities and award them to the best proposals for development. In other words, we'll actually build new cities in our country again. These freedom cities will reopen the frontier, reignite American imagination, and give hundreds of thousands of young people and other people, all hardworking families, a new shot at home ownership and, in fact, the American dream. Another big opportunity is in transportation.
Yeah, Oceana Smith says 1984 exactly. That's what I believe well, he hasn't said it, but I think that maybe his vision for Greenland would be to get a bunch of white families to move up to Greenland. They got the fatigue here, and they want to move away from the city. City fatigue, we can call it that. And they want to move away from the city. They can go move into now 15-minute city, but where they can own a house and work long hours. And maybe it would be nice if it was kind of like a, singular or like a segregated community, Christians or whatever it would be. I mean, we'll see. But then the tariffs and all that go with, I got to shut it down because I got to go to bed. I'm not feeling good. But it also goes with his, what is it called? The External Revenue Service that he just talked about the other day. So he talks about funding the government through, instead of the Internal Revenue Service taxing the people, an External Revenue Service from tariffs and all that other stuff. And let me just play this. Hi. There's that one other guy, I forget his name, that long-haired guy that's like president of some other country now too, and he's all about it too. He's like, yeah, the U.S. could do that, and they're installing these types of nationalistic leaders in other countries and reforming their governments, at least on the surface level. Oh, this is one where you don't even talk, man. I hate these ones.
Trump is doubling down on his tariff promise.
Yeah, he says a new agency will come into play on his first day back in office. Trump announcing on Truth Social that he'll collect tariffs and other revenues from foreign countries under the External Revenue Service. Meanwhile, economists worry that the cost of those tariffs could cause a 60% increase passed on to consumers. That service will begin Monday, which is Inauguration Day.
President-elect.
Don't forget Monday is Inauguration Day. It's also Martin Luther King Day. Shout out to Garo of Jurassic Liars. Go over there, watch his, I think it's his most recent live stream. He had a lot of the really good connections. Martin Luther King was assassinated. The only other guy inaugurated, or when Trump's inaugurated, it's going to be the flags are at half-mast for Jimmy Carter. JC died. Donald Trump's getting in. Flags are at half-mast. When Richard Nixon got inaugurated, was the same date, January 20th. The flags were at half-mast for Harry Truman, who had just died. And when Trump was born, Truman was the president. I mean, dude, Jurassic just has like bam, 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 bam. It's like next level decodes and schizo conspiracy, but like good, not trash. There's just so much there, so much predictive programming, and so much to get over that I had to come on. Like I said, man, I got to get my reps in. So thanks for sticking with me, even though I'm not feeling good. This year I'm gonna grind them out. So I gotta get the hang of the software again and everything, and troubleshoot everything on my end before I really start cranking them out. So in the very near future, look for a few more streams about these types of current event types topics, and then I'm gonna go into Senator Paul Wellstone from Minnesota. He was killed in, I believe, 2002. Long time ago, he died in a plane crash. We'll get into that. Is it a conspiracy or not? Who he was, and a bunch of other stuff about that. And then I'll do it. What I'll be calling like a soft reset for my channel would be a Vince McMahon / wrestling, politics is wrestling type stream. We'll go through the Vince McMahon story and introduce people that may not be familiar with actor-based reality, what that's all about, how it works, and the idea of kayfabe. When you look at the story of what's happening on the world stage, is it really like, do these things actually happen, or is it just like basically you're watching what's happening within the movie that you're watching? So I know I'm forgetting some stuff, but let me know in the comments what you guys think about all this stuff. And I'm going to shut it down because I got to go to work tomorrow, but I appreciate everyone that was here. And look for me back soon, and also with EBT about Elon Musk. Peace out, y'all.
Make America great again.
Make America great again. Make America great again. Make America great again.
And yes, together we will make America great again.